Hello, today you join me on Haven Banks in Exeter, which is the canal basin, which all the boats from the canal come down the river and moor up. Anyway, who cares about that? Today we are talking about the SINNIS Terrain T380. Now this is the first ride video. I've only had it for a very short time. I've done a quick little lane on it and rode it through town. And so far, what are your thoughts on it? What do you think? Well, first of all, that is very much like the 850 GS and the 750, and also got a little bit like the Tiger as well, isn't it? The front headlights. We have a 19-inch front wheel with twin discs on the front. Some crash bars which look substantial. Yeah, they're pretty good. Now, as you may remember, I did not so long ago ride the 125 SINNIS Terrain, and I was more than impressed actually, considering it's a 125, considering the price point that the bike was at. It was a very good learner legal bike, one which I could even own now, and I would probably use it quite a lot around town and just general commuting. This one here is a twin, I think it's 378cc to be precise, bike. Now, we have got the panniers as well, which are very much like the Himalayans, Royal Enfield Himalayan. In fact, I think they are actually the same ones, so that the same people must make the boxes, possibly. But yeah, very much, very similar indeed. Now, riding it across town, I will show you in a second, but the gearing is very short. I would argue it's too short, to be honest with you. Third, fourth and fifth seem to be well, it's almost like there's just an extra tuff on each gear that you go through. So by the time you're at 30, I found that I need sixth gear, but hey ho. The side stand looks very short. That's concerning. Not sure if you can see that, but yeah, it is a little bit on the short side. But I have found that this centre stand with the rubber peg on it, it floats up onto the centre stand. Lovely, it really does. I believe the bike is about 200 kilograms, which for this style bike is relatively heavy. We haven't got a bash plate underneath here, so we've got the oil filter there, so it's going to get a bit splashed up there. The panniers are fantastic. I don't know what literage they are, but you should be able to get quite a bit in there. Got some spare keys, aluminium as well. They got some sort of rubberized gasket around the outside, so yeah, you get quite a bit in there. And in here, that is enough to fit a full face helmet. Hopefully you can see that. That's my son's there. I'm going to pick him up from school in a minute. My 9-year-old. Lockable boxes, solid. Everything on this bike so far seems very solid to me. Even the crash bars. It's a relatively heavy bike. I think it's around 200 kilograms, somewhere around there in weight, which for a 380cc is, I would say it's up there really. I guess you got the crash bars and the boxes and that, so but it actually feels a lot lighter. But yeah, I mean it's got very similar traits to the 125 that I rode, with the seating. It might even be the same seat actually, I don't know. But yeah, it's comfort wise, again, as with the 125 was brilliant the way it was set up, and this is much the same. The handlebars are quite high, the pegs are quite low. We've got a nice big chunky gear shifting peg there, which is nice. That really is nice. And same with the rear brake pedal actually. I'm finding the rear brake quite spongy, but at the same time quite nice. It's quite nice to operate. It doesn't particularly bite very quickly, neither does the front actually. You would have thought that it might bite a bit better with it being a twin disc, but you know, it is what it is, and you know, it's it will still stop as quick as you need to for it to stop. But I think it looks pretty good, doesn't it? And the screen's quite high as well. So yeah, I mean, for the price you do get quite a lot. Right, before I waffle on anymore, let's get my gear on and have a ride. So let's switch her on. Hopefully you can see the screen there. SINNIS Adventure starts here. Exciting. Right, so we got a great big TFT screen. I got the rev bar at the top, the decent gear selector indicator there, temperature, fuel gauge. I don't know what that on means. Maybe it's ABS. Might be able to shut that off. I don't know yet. Some sort of max speed thing. By the looks of it, somebody's had 72 miles per hour out of it. Don't really see why we need that, but anyway, thank you. Average is 22 miles per hour, miles per gallon, and average miles per gallon, trip, and the miles that we've done there. So off we go. Now, gearing wise, it's very short. First gear 13 miles an hour, second gear 19, third 23, fourth. I feel like it should change up already. Let's do it. So 24 miles an hour, and I'm at 2,500 revs in fifth gear. So yeah, I've found that the gearing is quite short, but that's okay if you're going off-road. It'll probably be ideal if you're going off-road, actually. So the engine itself is mapped quite low, so everything is low down. So not only have we got low gears, but we've got low mapping as well. Which, pros and cons with that. I mean, that's going to be great for off-road, not so good for on-road. But after being so impressed with the 125 version of this did have quite a lot to live up to. And at the moment, yeah, I mean, it's alright. It's a typical adventure bike. I remember feeling the same way about this bike as I did with the F850 GS BMW. Right, so again, we're going up a steep hill here, and this is where the short gearing does come into play. As an experienced rider, I find myself having to readjust myself to the lower power. But I say lower power, I mean, this will be fine if you're moving from the SINNIS Terrain 125 and you want to move up to the 380, then you're in for quite a treat. It will be a decent upgrade. And the boxes on the back and on the side panniers as well are decent, so if you want to go on a big trip or fancy doing some long touring on a bike like this, then you're going to have all the storage that you need. Front braking is, yeah, it's pretty good actually, and it doesn't dive too much, and I'm quite impressed actually with the front suspension. Is the shocks are adjustable, which is very unusual on a bike with this price point. I am finding the rear suspension a little bit bouncy actually. I'm not sure if that can be adjusted. I might look at that when I get home. And the front screen is non-adjustable, but it's relatively high up. Adjustable front brake lever and a non-adjustable clutch lever, which is relatively light. I wouldn't say super light, all things considered, but it's not too bad. But the upside down shocks on the front are actually look really good quality. And like I say, they are adjustable as well, so it's quite impressive. So that was just a quick ride really. I will be bringing you the full review shortly, and I'll explain a bit more about the TFT screen and go into depth quite a bit on it, as I always do on my reviews. But for now, I just want to say thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll catch up with you on Monday at 4 PM. If you could give it a big like just to get the analytics moving along, try and grow this channel a bit, then that would be superb. That does make a big difference for me. So give it a like. Thank you very much, and I'll see you Monday at 4 PM.